Habitat for Humanity New Zealand is changing the lives of Kiwis by working with people from all backgrounds, races and religions in a partnership system to build houses for families in need.
Working with Habitat was a real partnership, coming together. It was Habitat saying, look, we'll work with you and your family, but you need to come on board and work with us to make it happen.
A lot of people go, oh, they only pick, solid parents and stuff, but they don't. It's a mixture of people, knowing that there is a roof over my kid's head, so if anything was to happen, my babies have got it.
Fantastic. There's no more landlord inspections. The rent's not going to get put up every 6 months or 12 months. The house isn't going to get sold and we have to move. We are stable and it's such a secure feeling. It's amazing.
Habitat's role is to select and support homeowners, organise volunteers and coordinate home building.
The first Habitat house was built in New Zealand in Pukekohe, and that was actually finished in March 1993. Millard Fuller, the founder, came over for that. For the families themselves, of course, it's a tremendous boost.
Habitat has successfully housed over 330 families in New Zealand alone. In West Auckland, Habitat are building 3 brand new homes. Margaret Marunga is one of the lucky recipients.
I'm one of the women of domestic violence. I had enough, so in 2003 I walked out of that situation and started to try and better myself for my babies to get into work. So what I did is joined up with the adult literacy.
Margaret's determination to better herself led her to apply for Habitat.
It was actually my tutor, Alison, who put my name down for Habitat throughout this process of me bettering myself. And she said I deserved to have something happen because I was bringing up my 5 children on my own, on the benefit. We always got called back every few months. Every time the people came and met us, the kids would go, oh, they were a bit shady. We didn't trust them. But in the end, when I met up with the organisers, I knew it was coming together, it was going to be real, and then we got chosen.
The Mackenzie family have just moved into their new home, the second to be completed of 3 houses in the West Auckland build.
Hi! Hi. Come on in. We have Sky.
Hi.
We have Lauren.
Hi.
And we have Peter. I've been bringing the children up for 3 years by myself now. Being a single mum and working part-time, you can't live and save. You can't really make plans. You just basically live week to week, and at the moment, with the price of everything going up, it's impossible.
Wendy was determined to improve the children's quality of life.
2 of my friends, we were at school waiting to pick the kids up, and Vicky handed me an ad, and it was a Habitat ad. Would you like to own your own home? And I thought, well, for sure I want to own my own home. So I rang the number and got an application pack sent out to me, and I got a phone call for an interview.
Just a few houses down from the Mackenzie family live the Hart family.
Hi.
Hi, come in.
I was born in Portsmouth in the south of England, grew up there till I was 16 and then came here to New Zealand. I had hopes and I had dreams, but I had nothing concrete. I wanted to own my house one day, but there was no way of doing it. And while I would eventually go to work and get a job, it would never ever be enough to save for a deposit on a house, to even service a mortgage on one income. When we applied for the Habitat house, we were living in a state house in Massey in a really rough street. We were a bit overcrowded. There were 5 of us and I was sleeping on the lounge. The children had the bedrooms, and then there was also the house. The house was really, really damp. The walls would get wet.
Wendy and her young family were all too familiar with living in poor housing conditions.
We had rats that would eat holes in the wall.
Yeah,
it was not nice. And it was high rent, it was really crowded, and it was an old run-down house that was cold and damp.
Josh would get really sick. Josh has asthma, so the dampness would aggravate that. And Dominique too, she wasn't too good.
When you're low income and you're renting, You don't actually know where you're going to be in 3 months' time, and it's quite common for families to be shifting 2 and 3 times a year. And because of that, they never put down any roots in any particular community.
Having moved 3 times in the last 2 years and supporting 2 young boys and a 6-month-old baby, Kurt and Heidi certainly have their hands full.
Feels like the money is going pretty much nowhere.
Like bills, rent, and that's it. Kurt had a day off, a sick day, and we didn't realise he didn't have any sick leave left. And so we got to the pay week and realised there was only enough for either the rent or the power. We didn't have enough for both. For the family our size, it's not easy to find a place that isn't expensive.
Kurt's dyslexia has restricted him from finding well-paid employment. Heidi is a stay-at-home mum with aspirations to become a midwife.
I really want to do midwifery. We just don't have the means for me to go and do it. Because we'd never be able to save up for a house, there's a lot of other things we can't save up for.
Heidi decided to do some volunteer work for Habitat.
I was just going to volunteer. I thought, give me something to do because I'm always here with the kids. And I listened to what they were saying, and they talked about people who can't, whose rent's too high to save money sort of thing. And I thought, well, that's us.
New Zealand has some of the least affordable housing in the developed world. With so many in need, picking the families and paying for land are 2 major difficulties Habitat faces.
We've been looking for some time for suitable land out in the Franklin area. We discovered that Housing New Zealand had a plot of land in Tuakau, so we talked to them about the possibility of us buying some of that land off them, and then they allowed us to buy 2 of the sites off them, but on very good terms. The most difficult part of what we do in Habitat is actually selecting the families. The families that have come in have been definitely within our criteria. Housing need, low income, inability to be able to purchase a house of their own. There's got to be a willingness to partner, which is important for us. We say that we offer a hand up, not a hand out.
The opportunity for Kurt and Heidi to apply for a house in Tuakau, close to their current rented accommodation, seemed too good to be true.
I wasn't sure about filling out the form. I thought there'd be people there with worse situation than what we've got. My mum kept bothering me to fill it out and get it sent in, so I got it in the day of the deadline. We
felt that they would be a good family. It's quite a young family for us to select.
And then they came and visited us a couple of days later here.
I was really nervous about it.
Kurt kept repeating himself
over and over again.
Dad asked him a question, he'd pretty much say the same thing.
I was so nervous.
When we compared them with the other families that had applied at that time, they were the ones that came out on top.
Because we were told at like 7, 8 o'clock on the Monday night. On Tuesday I had phone call after phone call. People wanted me for this, people wanted me for that, and I was like, oh, and I was writing all these down just on a piece of A4 paper on my computer, trying to get everything down.
On Tuesday you're so shocked and you feel like it's not true.
With Kurt and Heidi chosen for the Tuakau build, a team of American volunteers from the Global Village program have begun working on their new home.
We've got a team of Americans here at the moment helping us out. They're a Global Village team. As part of Habitat for Humanity, we send people worldwide to do building in different countries. They've come here to help us to get this building underway.
They're working for a week, then they're going for a week around New Zealand, then they're going to come back for a week, and most of it's going to be closed in or pretty well finished, and then the rest of the local volunteers will carry on finishing it off.
A housing company will do it in something like 6 to 8 weeks, and from foundation, using our volunteer labour, we'll take about 2.5 to 3 months.
We've only arrived here Monday morning, and it's Wednesday afternoon now, and we're putting in the last pieces in the roof. And almost all of us have never done this, or at least only done it on a home project.
Hey, Smoko! Smoko!
My wife and I are leading a team of people from the US and Canada, 3rd time in New Zealand. Several of these people have been with us on repeated trips.
This is my 3rd build. The people that you meet on these builds become family because you're so far away from home, and everybody just gels so quickly because we're all here for the same reason.
Most Americans come over for a holiday, so usually they do go out and drink at night. The thing is, we have to feed them too. They really love their jam and peanut butter. One stage I bought fish and chips and they were going, wow, this is awesome.
It's hard to find those opportunities that are so long lasting as building a building and putting a family in it.
Back in West Auckland, it's left to a team of local volunteers to put the finishing touches to Margaret's house.
Habitat's mainly about volunteers. Me and Mike can't build houses by ourselves, so they play a big key in doing all the work.
3 families, Margaret, Michelle and myself. During the build there was lots of volunteers and companies that would bring teams in.
And there was people from all walks of life, people who weren't working, people who were really wealthy. There was a man in his late 70s would come along every Saturday and work.
We also have had like skills update. Young men there want to be builders, so they come and they learn about things. And then I've been quite surprised, some of them are really, really good. You know, young ones, teenagers. And then some just get ho-ha. So, but if it wasn't for them, it wasn't for all of them, we wouldn't be able to build our homes.